Gabe Watson.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was 2010, was it? You decided to bring charges against him. Did you feel he was guilty and you could win a conviction? Or was that double sample?
I didn't think that we had cause to indict him. I met with Tina Thomas's parents. I looked at the evidence of what happened, and I believed that we had probable cause to go to a grand jury and seek a capital indictment, which is what we got. And then Australia refused to honor an extradition warrant, told me that we were barbarians because we believed in capital punishment, and they wouldn't extradite him unless we took the death penalty off the table. And I didn't believe that it was up to the country of Australia to decide how Alabama was going to mete out justice. And I refused to take capital punishment off the table. And I believe that was the right decision.
So the first question I have is about that. Now, me personally, I mean, what I seen, I thought Gabe was an innocent man. Stuff in Australia, or I think, or at least it would have been hard for me to guilty. But how did you think that you could get 12 people to agree on a verdict with him?
Well, that's not the test. That would make justice into a popularity contest.
Okay.
The test is, do you believe there's probable cause for the indictment? And look, our system is set up with a jury. It's a check on the prosecutors. But no, I would not ever indict somebody if I didn't believe that we could win a conviction based on the evidence. I'm not in the business of railroading people. I wasn't in the business of wrongfully pursuing people. But it wasn't up to me to make that decision. It would have been up to jurors to make that decision. But I believe that the evidence supported the indictment.
Okay, so how did Alabama have jurisdiction to charge him with that crime that supposedly happened or allegedly happened in Australia?
Well, because it was my belief that the execution of the crime happened in Australia, but the planning and the arranging of the crime happened in Alabama. That's where the tickets were bought. That's where the money was collected. That's where the insurance proceeds were sought. So I believe they were Alabama citizens. I believe Alabama had jurisdiction over the crime because of that.
Okay, so planning the crime in the state is just like committing it elsewhere then. Okay, I follow that.
No, just like committing it elsewhere, but it gives Alabama a sufficient connection to the crime. It's not like a crime of passion that, you go to California and fly into a fit of rage over something and you kill somebody. Alabama might have a hard time with that. But this crime, in my opinion, and look, I respect the justice system. Gabe Watson wasn't convicted. Gabe Watson was found innocent. I'm not in any way trying to undermine that. But the way Alabama had jurisdiction to bring the indictment it was my belief that the crime was planned and the carrying out of the crime started in Alabama.
Well, what do you think the motive was for him?
Well, I don't know. I guess we would have learned more about that.
Okay.
Her parents believed it was financial.
Okay. So during the after the race against Strange, during that years you was in private practice like you are now until